Hi, I'm Christa Jacobson, headmistress of the Budo, where we teach authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu. And for those of you who don't know what that is, those are the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. In today's video, we're going to discuss pain and how, if you're a true martial artist, you should be making pain your friend and not running from it like a coward. Now, before we begin and talk about this particular subject, I always give a shout out to all of my new viewers. If this is the first video that you guys have seen of me, I am Christa Jacobson. I'm the headmistress of the Budo, which means School of the Warrior Way. We teach koryu ninjutsu and koryu bujutsu, so the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. The school does have other focuses within its organization, such as reality-based self-defense, weapons training and tactics, survival skills, concealed carry, martial art theory, thought and philosophy, martial arts conditioning. If any of those topics interest you at all, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the bell. That way you guys can keep with everything that we do. I do post 2 to 3 videos a week. So yeah, if you guys are interested in those topics, subscribe to the channel and keep up with what we're doing. For my current subscribers and viewers and all of you guys who like the content that I post, I have a quick little message for you as well. We are really close to that 50,000 subscriber mark, and that's one of my goals, is to hit 50,000 subscribers. So I want to ask all of you guys if you would please share my URL, share my channel, share my videos on all of your social media. I would love to get that first goal of 50,000, right? 50K. That would be great. So I'm asking for your help, okay? So you guys can help me help this channel grow, right? So to thank you for all of my current viewers and subscribers who enjoy my content and are willing to help me grow this channel. So let's get on to the topic, right? So the topic is pain, and how, if you're a real martial artist, you would be making pain your friend, not running from it like a coward. Now, there are going to be times in this particular walk today, as I do a little stroll and talk to you guys and share my thoughts and philosophies on this particular subject, that we might have to take a side note to define some things, because many times when people have argumentative thoughts or disagreements is because they haven't defined certain words. So when we talk about pain today, pain does come in a variety of different areas. You can have physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain. You can have pain from lots of different areas in many different realms. So as we go through this conversation today, I'm going to be jumping around to many different realms and areas, still sticking to the idea of pain. Pain is what motivates most people to want to learn martial arts. Ironically, pain is also the reason why most people quit martial arts. And that's something. So, an example, like if you were learning a technique, and let's say it's a technique against a lead jab, and as you're doing the technique, you're going to do an inward block to block the particular attack, and then follow it with some counter punch. Well, if you don't block the incoming punch, it's going to punch you right in the face. That would be very painful. So pain is motivating you to do an inward block to the oncoming attack so that you can then effectively do the counter punch. So although you're not feeling pain in that particular moment, pain itself is the motivating factor for you to do what you're doing to be effective in what it is that you are doing. There's also other kinds of pain as well. Like someone calls me up and they're like, oh, is this Soke Anshu? Is this Anshu Christa Jacobson? I'm like, well, yes, it is. And they say, I've seen lots of your videos on YouTube, and I've seen your website, and I really like what you do, and I want to learn self-defense, and I want to learn, how to protect myself and the ones that I love. Well, okay, that's great. That motivating factor right there is that there's the fear of pain. Someone that they love, either they get hurt or someone that they love is going to be hurt, and they want to learn how to protect themselves and the ones that they love. And that pain is still factored into that particular example. Pain is a great motivating force, to be honest with you. It really is. It keeps us focused and on the particular task at hand, because what's in front of you is what's going to hurt you. And in martial arts, that's kind of like one of those things that should be a constant. Now, we do live in an age where 90% of all martial arts, and I want to make sure I'm very clear with that, 90% of all martial arts, not just, even though I am a ninjutsu instructor, it's not just the ninjutsu community, 90% of all martial arts are bullshit. They're sellouts. They're giving away rank for no reason. You know, everyone gets a black belt. Everything's easy. They don't push their students. They don't make them endure pain. It's just absolutely easy. It's like they're going to some place like in the strip mall where they can, you know, get their little taekwondo black belt, go next door and get their nails done, go next door, pick up their, you know, their post office, and then, you know, go home kind of thing. And it's one of those things where we just live in a world where that is 90% of martial arts schools, and that's what's accepted. And to be honest, even though that's what's accepted, it doesn't make it right. Just because the majority are doing it doesn't make it right. And I firmly believe 90% of all martial arts are bullshit, and they're wrong. And the way that they're teaching is wrong, and 9 out of 10 instructors are sellouts. That's my personal opinion on that subject. What you should be doing in martial arts is pushing your students to endure pain, to be able to overcome pain. That's what gives them confidence. Now, does that mean that when someone comes in at a white belt, that they should be doing black belt level training? Absolutely not. There's the in our school, in our organization, there's the Q ranks and Dan ranks, and then you got the Minkyos and et cetera, et cetera. But as you go through the Q ranks to get into the Dan ranks, there is a progression, you know, like example, you have like white belt, yellow belt, orange belt, et cetera. You go through your Q ranks, and each level should, the heat, if you will, the pain, the threshold, which you're enduring should constantly be increased as you go up. And as you go up, you should be pushed harder and harder. And it should feel like you overcame something, that it was something that you did, and you felt good about it. It shouldn't be like something, well, that was easy. I got me a belt. Oh, look at this belt that I got, you know, da-da-da. Not everyone, and this is the truth, not everyone is going to be a black belt. That's it. We live in a world where everyone deserves a participation certificate. Everyone just deserves a black belt. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I do not follow that train of thought. I think everyone can get a black belt if they push themselves and train themselves and develop the skills needed to be a black belt. But nobody deserves it. It's something that you should earn. Unfortunately, 90% of the martial art instructors out there are running it as a business. They're not doing it to actually help the student. I can't tell you how many times I've had people come into this organization, they leave because it's too hard, and then they go do something that's way easier. And it happens all the time. And I'm going to share a few examples of that, just what's happened in this last month, you know, with a couple of different individuals, but from the online dojo. But it happens all the time. And I always wondered this certain thing. It's like, when we talk about pain, right? When we talk about pain and enduring pain and pushing yourself through pain and that sort of thing, I mean, maybe one of you guys can answer this question for me. Maybe someone that's watching this video would care to answer this. Why would someone leave an art that's pushing them physically and mentally to that threshold to make them be better? Why would they quit and do something easy that doesn't push them? Just gives them a black belt. Especially when the motivating factor was, I want to be able to protect myself and the ones that I love. Because, you know, let me give you guys a little bit of something you probably already know. Criminals are good at being criminals. I mean, there's just the facts. And they don't really give a shit about rules or points. When they travel in packs, they're probably going to have a tactical advantage over the land. They know the area better than you. They probably staked out a certain place and made sure that they jumped you in a certain place. If they don't have the numbers, they're definitely going to have the weapons to their advantage, whether it's an edged weapon, a firearm, some sort of blunt force instrument that they could use against you. Yeah, I mean, and when you have to face that situation, there will be pain involved. When you're training in martial arts and you're truly training, there should be physical conditioning. And there should be learning how to strengthen your body, your mind, your body, your spirit. You're doing your push-ups, your sit-ups, and squats, and what happens? Your body starts to burn. Muscles are burning, your heart rate goes up, and in that moment, you have to learn how to endure that pain. So an example of that is, let's say that you're supposed to do 10 push-ups, and at 5, it starts getting rough. Do you stop and get no results, or do you push yourself and do those 5 extra reps that you're supposed to do? Because if you're supposed to do 10, then you do 10. That's the goal. The goal is to be able to achieve the objective. The goal isn't to make it easy for yourself. So if sensei says, well, you need to do 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 squats, then that's 10, 10, 10. That isn't 5, take a break, 5, and then 6, take a break, 4. That's 10, 10, 10. And that's being able to learn that 10 reps ain't that bad. You can endure it and you can push through it. And then you move to the next level, and then the reps go up again. So you have that physical pain that happens through just conditioning alone. Then you have the sparring when you're throwing punches and they're throwing punches, and you've got to learn how to take a punch. You also have to learn how to give a punch, and there's going to be pain involved in that. One of the things that probably a lot of people have an issue with, and I don't understand why they have an issue with this, but a lot of people have an issue with, and it's learning ukemi. Now, ukemi-waza, or receiving techniques, is kind of a really big part of classical Japanese martial arts. Specifically ninjutsu, because the ukemi is the same, but there's added skills to it. And I'll explain that as we go through. But ultimately, when you deal with ukemi, you really break it down fundamentally at a basic level. There are more than 2 sections. Okay, I want to start with that. There are definitely more than 2 sections of ukemi. But fundamentally, from a basic perspective, for a new student who's joining, classical Japanese martial arts, there are 2 main sections that they're going to learn, especially if they're in their beginner levels. And those are going to be rolls, and you're going to have break falls. So learning how to roll and learning how to fall. There is no way you can fall without learning to roll. Rolling is easier than falling, because when you roll, you have impact on the ground, of course, but you're learning how to absorb that and go with that and not have as much impact. Falling is literally, you're hitting the ground. That's going to be more impact. So anyone who's ever been thrown is going to have more impact than someone who's just doing a roll. Well, if they do it correctly. Now, let's look at the purpose. Some people say, well, I don't like to roll, or I don't want to do break falls, or I don't want to be thrown. Okay. Well, one, you need to leave and go to one of those other martial art organizations that will teach you a martial art that doesn't roll and fall on the ground, right? But let me just give you this one little nugget. Let me give you this little gem of knowledge, okay? Every criminal that has that edged weapon and firearm and that blunt force trauma, they're gonna whoop your ass and take you to the ground and kick your ass and kick the shit out of the ones you love and steal everything you have and all that kind of stuff. They don't care. And their objective is to knock your ass on the ground. Yeah, most people don't get their ass kicked standing up. Most people get their ass kicked by getting struck, whether it's stabbed, shot, hit with something, multiple attackers, and then they hit the ground. Yeah, and when you hit the ground, if you don't know how to go to the ground effectively, you're gonna hurt yourself by going to the fucking ground and break a hand, break a wrist, a hip, something along those lines, and then you're gonna lay there in the fetal position while you get the shit kicked out of you because you don't know what you're doing. Now, there are martial arts that, well, we don't do that because we don't do that rolls and grappling and throwing, and we don't do those things because apparently they just believe that they're so superior that they're not going to get thrown to the ground and nothing's ever going to go to the ground. Well, okay. Join one of those organizations. I choose to not go down that line. I live my life by this idea that I hope for the best, but I prepare for the worst. I am very much like that. I think, if you guys have never watched that video, what does Anshu mean? Because a lot of people think the kanji Anshu. My warrior title Anshu is the same as like Stephen Hayes' Anshu. It's not the same. It's not even the same kanji. Completely different meaning. Mine means like dark master, the darkness, literally the darkness. And maybe that's just because there's lots of reasons why. You guys can watch the video. Stick it in the comment section. Yes, that'll be a good go for you. But it's also like, maybe it's my pessimistic approach towards, I do always prepare for the worst. I assume the worst is always going to happen. I hope for the best, live life, be happy, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to martial arts, I want to prepare for the worst possible situation. And the reality of it is, anyone who wants to jump you on the street wants to kick the living shit out of you, and they want you on the ground. And I don't even know that they give a shit whether you're breathing or not. They want you on the ground. So to not learn how to effectively roll doesn't make any sense to me. Of course you don't want to go to the ground, but to not know what you do when you get there is a little arrogant. You know what I mean? It's like ground fighting. I honestly think, and I've made multiple videos about this, ground fighting for self-defense is just not smart. There's no way anyone wants to do rolls and grapple and do arm bars on concrete. I mean, you're gonna hurt yourself doing the shit on concrete. It's nice on padded floors and wrestling mats and all that kind of stuff. It's terrible hitting your knees and elbows and this shit on the street. And I've made multiple videos about that, and you can see that. Go to my YouTube channel. Multiple videos of me making the students do rolls in the middle of a road and show them this is why you don't do this shit. But you still need to know how to do it. When you're playing golf, you have to have a sand wedge. No one wants to fucking go in the bunker. That's ridiculous. Everyone wants to drive the ball, fairway, chip it in, putt it in, go to the next hole. No one wants to go to the goddamn bunker. But you have the sand wedge in case shit goes wrong. That's what it's there for, right? So rolling and break falls and grappling and all that kind of stuff, that kind of falls in that line of learning how to have a specific skill set in case shit goes wrong, in case you're in a shitty position, in case you're in the bunker. So you learn rolls. Once you get that, we can do break falls. Once you do that, we can do ground fighting and grappling. There's a progression. But what really gets me is you have so many people that leave and quit and all this stuff over because you push them in a way that just makes them feel uncomfortable or it's a little painful. And then I'm just like, that's what martial arts is supposed to be. I mean, when you block someone, and I get it, most people who teach how to block, you know, your inward block, you know, your inward block or your outward block is sort of thing. When you block, you know, you're gonna get hurt. Someone's hitting you. There is impact. They're hitting you. When you hit them on a block, if you're not conditioning your forearms, it's gonna fucking hurt, right? When you punch something and kick something, if you're not conditioned to punch and kick someone, you're gonna hurt your own shit. So it really, like, these people that just think we should be doing martial arts and it should be so easy. Life's not easy. And I think it's just my mentality of training. I am very aggressive in that sense. I'm very intense. I'm very aggressive. I demand excellence, and I'm not even gonna hide that. So if you guys you love my YouTube channel and you like my philosophy and all that, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But if you're considering training with us and you're not willing to put fucking effort into your training, this is not gonna be the organization for you. It's just simply not. I don't do that. And the people that actually can push themselves through the levels and get going and get going and get going, we have certain points where it's like, okay, now you've earned a little bit of respect. Now you've earned a little bit more. And to me, when you earn that, you earn it. It's not something that just, oh, look, I purchased level 1. You got to earn it, you know? And there are certain steps in that process that I think have to be met. And that's how you prove yourself to your instructor. And martial arts should have those steps. You should be like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Okay, we want to do rolls. All right, well, I get it. You walk all day on Mother Earth, all day long. Why fear rolling on her? I mean, shit, you know, your last nap's going to be in her anyway, you know? I mean, it's either you learn how to roll with her or you be buried in her, you know? I mean, it's like, you know, I decided to do the roll. There you go. Or it's like the break falls, or learning how to throw, learning how to be thrown. The workouts, we have certain workouts that are required at every level where students have to be able to get through them. And it's not like it's an hour-long workout or anything like that, you know? It's conditioning, it's bag work, it's a certain amount of rounds, it's et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's not, I mean, anyone who's in a boxing school or a kickboxing school or MMA school probably does a shit ton, and I mean, not even close, a shit ton more cardio and conditioning. But we still have certain requirements that I think are necessary to be able to teach the student how to endure pain, persevere, and keep moving forward. There's a certain level of physical conditioning that one should have to be an effective martial artist. And there's so many people that join, and then, you know, maybe I don't know, maybe they don't understand their whole weaknesses and strength points or whatever. But when you bring up the ideas like you got to push yourself through this, then they look at you like it's my fault that they're not succeeding. And that's the part that I'm going to kind of talk to you a little bit about. So here's one. There's this one example, and I'm going to keep everyone's names out of it and all the personal shit out, because I've never made a video outing anybody. Not going to do it now. I'm never going to do that. I think it's tacky as shit. But I do make videos based on my experiences, and those experiences help me, you know, be a better teacher, I think. That's what life is. Life is nothing but one experience after another, and you know, life is pain, right? So this one individual who starts his training, and now it's time to do, you know, the physical requirements. It's time to do the workouts and the conditioning. And then this is an individual that, I mean, this individual had a problem with the first one, level 1, which is, you know, level 1, white belt, yellow belt, orange belt, etc. Has a problem with the first workout. And then he blames me on his reason why he can't get through the workout. Like, how is it possible that it's my fault that he can't get through a damn workout? That doesn't even make rational sense. But no, I mean, yeah, it's my fault. And he goes on and on and on, and I'm this. And one thing is probably true. Any one of you guys who are watching this video, if you made it this far and you're a teacher, there's one thing I'm going to add to all martial art teachers out there, all good martial art teachers out there, not 90% of the horseshit sellouts, you know, that, you know, give out easy rank and don't push their students. I'm not talking about that 90%. You know, I'm glad you guys are making the money and all that, and I'm sure you're happy being a sellout, but I'm not talking to that group. I'm talking about the real martial art teachers, the ones who are watching a video and you actually do push your students. You know, kudos to you on that shit. And one thing that, you know, it's always the truth, is that teachers are always wrong. It's always the teacher's fault. It's never the student's fault. You ever notice that? Well, why did you leave that school? Well, that teacher was so-and-so. Have you ever seen a martial arts student leave one organization to go to the other and then say it was my fault? Like, absolutely not. I could give you a list of just disrespectful punk kids and students that have left here, blame me, said I'm this, that, and the other, all because, and then they were all happy when they were here. They were happy and they were doing good, and then as they go up, the heat gets cranked up a little bit because it should get harder as you go through the levels, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's my fault. My fault why you can't do this. It's my fault why they can't do that. You know, in the online dojo, I mean, I can't tell you how many people quit because it's time to do rolls. I mean, it's absurd how many people, they join the online dojo and then it's like, oh my God, you want me to do a forward roll and a rear roll? Yeah, that's what we want. You need to be able to do rolls. And then we go through the process and no, they do something else. So I'm gonna go do something else. Okay. And you know damn good and well that something else doesn't involve rolling or falling or any of that kind of shit. And it's just to make them feel good about themselves, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what they want. They want something that's going to make them feel good, not something that's going to make them be good. I'm sure that's what it is. The problem is we live in an age where, you know, with crime on the rise and violence on the rise and all that kind of stuff, I don't know that, you know, cookie cutter, you know, bullshit martial arts that's just there to make you feel good about yourself is really a good thing. I think that the way is in training, and I use that all the time, and it's just true. Miyamoto Musashi said that. He says the way is in training. It's not in reading books, it's not in any of that kind of stuff. It's pushing yourself, pain, enduring pain, overcoming pain, competition, competing against that one that's next to you, making yourself better, making your skills sharper. You can't sharpen a sword without friction. There's just no way. And that friction is what you need to make that weapon sharp. You know, and when you make a sword, you get this lump of steel. What do? You heat it up, you beat it into shape. What's what you're supposed to be doing with martial art conditioning? You heat yourself up, you beat yourself into shape. And then once you beat yourself up into the shape you need, You need that friction to put an edge on it. That's the critique. That's the critique from your teacher trying to make you sharpen that weapon, pushing you to be better, pushing you to be better. But so many people don't align with that anymore. We live in an age where so many people are on their smartphones and whatever kind of the interwebs and all this shit, and they think they know everything, right? We're drowning in knowledge and starving for wisdom, right? So it's like, and people, there are so many people that believe, like, you know, like they'll try to sell you stupid shit, like buy this book and you get the secrets. Okay, right. But some people believe that. They truly believe if they got some book that's going to do it for them. Well, I think anybody in their right goddamn mind knows that that's just stupid, and that is absolutely not true. You know how many people own a Bible that are shitty Christians, and they consider themselves Christians, and then the most judgmental pricks you've ever met in your life? You know what I'm saying? Like, they've got the book of God. Okay, no. How's that working for you? The way you post shit all over the internet doesn't mean you're really following that book, huh? And the reason it makes it difficult is they may have read that book, they may have owned that book, but they don't practice what's in the book. And the way is in training. When you walk into the dojo at the Hambu, we have a scroll next to the door before you walk in the training area. And the area where everyone kind of gets ready and changes their uniform, I have a scroll on the wall, and the scroll says, Kokoro Seneni Michi no Hararezu. And it's the last philosophy that Miyamoto Musashi wrote before he died, and it means never stray from the way. Yeah. And it's really deep in its message, because the way is in training. The way is pushing yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit to extremes, to be able to endure and keep moving forward, to be forced with something that's so violent, so intense, so aggressive, and you can still have sharpness of mind, calmness of mind, and to continue to keep moving forward, and to continue to have that balance of mind, body, and spirit to be effective against that violent attack. Well, some people just don't give a shit. You have all these people say, oh, I train in martial arts and I do this. And I've made multiple videos about the jack of all trades, master of none. You know, what really pisses me off is you get all these people that's like, oh, I've studied all these different martial arts and I got a black belt in 9 things. None of them are masters in anything. And there's a big difference between being a black belt and being a master. And if you guys haven't watched my video on what it means to be a black belt, or what does Shodan mean, you guys should watch that. I'll post that down below too. Those are 2 videos you guys should watch if you're watching this video. You know, what does Anshu mean, and what does it mean to be a black belt? You guys should watch those videos. And maybe I'll put in the comments section, you guys can check it out. I'm telling you, to get a black belt, ultimately, it means that you know the basics. Shodan, sho means initial, dan means level, initial level. You're an initial level student in that art. It's easier to get 3 black belts than it is to be a 3rd degree black belt in one art, because dan means level. So to get levels, you have to level up. You have to get higher and higher in that one art. It's like an associate's degree to a bachelor degree, to a master degree, to a PhD, that kind of thing. It's harder as you go up. But if you're like, well, I got a 2-year degree in, you know, hair and nails at a nail salon. I also have a 2-year degree in, I don't know, heating and cooling or something like that. Well, that's not nearly as hard as doing, you know, 4 years, getting your bachelor's at a major university. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just simply not. And I know sometimes maybe that rubs people the wrong way, but it's not. I've been doing this so long, and in the beginning, when I was, you know, 20 plus years ago, and I was just like, you know, well, way even before that, when I was an apprentice, because I started the Budo almost 20 years ago. So time flies, doesn't it? So way back, right? I really thought, oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do this. In a beginner's mind, there are many. In a master's mind, there's few. And it didn't hit me until after I started the Budo what that really meant. In a beginner's mind, there's many. In a master's mind, there's few. And you have these people, it's like, I got a black belt in karate and taekwondo and aikido and judo and iaido. And okay, beginner's mind, there's many. You haven't really mastered it then. You're missing the fucking point. What makes people motivated is when they see a master of something, right? And that master of something, right, is great at what they do. It's like when you guys watch, maybe you guys watch Star Wars. I use this one. See Master Yoda, right? He's master of the Force. I use this and get away from martial arts. And he didn't master the way of the Sith. He didn't master the way of the dark side. It ain't like he's got like, he mastered, you know, the Jedi and did 4 years as the Sith, you know, and then whatever is a Mandalorian, you know, or the Grey Way or whatever the fuck all that is. I'm totally speaking off of like, most of you guys probably know more about that shit than I do. I'm just throwing this shit out there, trying to connect to my viewers, right? No, what makes people great when you look at masters of anything, Mr. Miyagi did Miyagi-Do, Yoda does the Jedi, blah, 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 does blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's something. But then we have these people that do like 20 million fucking things, jack of all trades, master of none. And then they're gonna tell you that they're gonna make you great, and they're not even great themselves. They suck, they're a sellout. They're doing it for the money. They don't give a shit. And that's what's so bad, because the martial arts are so great, and training in martial arts is one of the greatest things of my life, is training in martial arts and helping people develop their skills in martial arts. And it breaks my heart every fucking day to do what I do and then see that other people claim to do what I do and they're prostituting it and not doing what they should be doing, and all they're doing is just trying to make money off of it. They're not trying to be good. They're not trying to help their students. It's just terrible. So if you guys are true martial artists, you guys should make sure that pain should be involved in your training. When you're doing your physical conditioning, you should feel pain. When you're sparring, there's going to be pain. When you're training the mind, there's going to be pain. There's going to be that moment where, okay, how can I stay focused? Sensei's talking about something and I have all these things going on. I've got all this stuff going on in my life. Focus. There's still going to be pain. It's still going to be that idea that maybe not the same pain as the physical pain. It's still going to be painful because you have to let something go to focus on what you're doing. Emotional pain. Someone has a gun or a knife or an edged weapon, or maybe you're having problems in life, or maybe you're having problems at work, or whatever it is, personal life. Family problems, and you're having emotional pain because of that, and then because of those outside influence of life, you come to the dojo and then you're having a hard workout. So now you have to be mentally sharp because physically the workout's kicking your ass, emotionally life's kicking you in the ass, and you have to be strong mind to be able to be like, okay, I need to focus and get this shit done because I'm here to get better. And that's part of training. You know, it's supposed to be hard, and anyone who tells you otherwise is selling you something. It's just that. We do have an online dojo. I do. And if you guys are interested in training, that'd be great. But it's gonna be fucking hard. It's gonna be really fucking hard. I have been, and we started the Budo Ryukai back in 2004. And so 15, 16, 17 years ago, almost 20 years. So 2004 is 2020, 16 years ago, almost 17 years ago. And we don't have 15, 16, 17 black belts yet. This organization doesn't even award one black belt a year. We're not a black belt mill. We're just simply not. Because I believe in excellence. I believe people need to train hard and earn it. It is difficult to get a black belt in this organization, but if you're willing to work hard, you can get it. You can achieve it, but you gotta be willing to work hard. You've gotta be willing to make pain your friend. You gotta be good with pain. You gotta be willing to endure it, persevere, overcome it, and continue on that path of training. Again, the way is in training. And like that scroll says in the Hanbu, right? Kokoro suneni michi no harazu. Never stray from the way. I don't know what you guys got out of today's little lesson, but hopefully you guys got something out of it. If you guys are interested in authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu, please check out my website at www.budoninjutsu.com. There you can see a list of our traditions, what it is we teach, philosophies. If you don't live next to one of our schools, you guys can always join the Budo Ryukai online ninjutsu dojo, and you can start training with us that way. So thank you guys very much for all of your love and support. I deeply appreciate it. Until next time, take care, be safe, and good luck in your journey of Budo. Bye.